This is kind of to help you out understanding the periodic table a little better if you're confused on anything. So just kind of pay careful attention. Your periodic table will be colored. The groups will have all their different colors. So the groups are the columns. There's 8 of them. Okay, and the groups tell you the number of valence electrons. Okay, and your groups are your A groups here. So you can see 1A, 2A. The B groups are your transitional metals, so they will not count as your main groups. Then you have 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, and 8A. So those A groups are your 8 different groups for this. So group 1, right there, they will have 1 valence electron. Okay, group 2, 2 valence electrons. So forth and so on down the line, where like group 6 is 6 valence electrons because your groups associate with that. Okay. Then you also have your periods, which are your rows. There's 7 of those, and that tells you the number of shells or rings that are used to fill electrons. Okay. And you can see your rows right there. Row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and these rows, like I said, were a number of shells. Okay, so if I'm in row 4, all the way across there, doesn't matter. Okay, if I'm in row 4, that means that element is going to have 4 shells or orbitals for its electrons. And that's kind of how that works. Okay, now as far as finding elements and associating to your groups, so like for instance, if I said find the element in group 3, period 4, you would find group 3, which is right here, group 3A, and then period 3, which is your third group down. And so you would just match those up, group 3, period 3, and I would have aluminum. If I said group 3, period 4, that would be the next one down, and that would be gallium, because I matched the group 3 with the period 4, and that's gallium. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, if I told you group 2, which is this group here, so find the element in group 2, period 5, I would go to period 5, and I'd have strontium. And that's kind of how that would look like. Okay, one more of those. Okay, so if I asked you to find group 5, period 6, I would go to my group 5, which is my 5A group here, and then I'd go down to period 6, which is bismuth, and that would give me my element in my group and my period for that. Okay, so this is kind of an extension of what we just did there. We have find that element. I added one at the top, and it's element AT. Okay, so we'll look here at our chart, and we'll find element AT, which is right there. We'll see what group's that in. So AT is in group 7A, and it is in period 6. So back to this sheet here, where it says group number. We said that AT was group 7, so I'd write a 7 there for the group, and that's how many valence it would have. And for the period, we said it was 6, so I'd write 6 there. Okay, so once again, just to look at that, AT, group 7, period 6. Now, as far as if it's a metal, non-metal, or metalloid, I'd use my other side, and I notice that AT is on the right-hand side here, where it says non-metals, okay, just by my shaded staircase, which are the metalloids. So where it says here, M is metal, N is non-metal, MD is metalloid, I would write non-metal for AT there. Okay. And that's kind of how you do that. Okay. We'll also do the bottom. So you notice at the bottom I have GE. Okay, another one I added. Okay, so I go to my chart here. I'm going to find GE. So there's GE. I notice it's in group 4 and then also period 4. So I'll write 4 for my group number, my valence, and 4 for my period, my number of shells, and that gives me GE. Now, when I turn this back over, okay, as far as finding GE, I notice GE is right here, and it's in my shaded region, and my shaded region is my staircase, and it's my metalloids. So when I label that one on here, as far as a metal, non-metal, or metalloid, I'm going to write MD for metalloid. And that's how that works. Okay, this will be a little longer video on how to find protons, neutrons, and electrons. Okay, you should hopefully have your notes filled out on the other side. If you don't, pay careful attention to get those completed, and make sure you look at number 3 and number 6 to help you complete these. Okay, so protons. Okay, protons is equal to the atomic number. Okay. Also, electrons, when it is a neutral atom, is equal to the atomic number. Okay. So we're just going to go down here to number 11. You'll notice the atomic number for number 11 is 81. So that tells me that I have 81 protons and 81 electrons. Okay. And then I can look at my sheet here. I'll find element number 81, which element 81 is thallium. So I'll go ahead and put TL in my symbol here for number 11. Now, the difficult one always is the number of neutrons. For number of neutrons, I look at the mass and I subtract the atomic number. So I'm going to look at the atomic mass, and I look at the atomic number, and I subtract those two, and that'll give me number of neutrons. So for this one here, I have 210, and I'm going to subtract 81 from that. So when I subtract 210 from 81, that gives me 129. So I'd have 129 neutrons. 210 minus 81. Atomic mass minus 81. So let's look at number 12 now. Okay. Notice I have again, my atomic number is 100. Okay. So that means I have 100 protons and 100 electrons in a neutral atom. Okay. Now this time you notice my mass is blank. To get my atomic mass, I take my number, my atomic number, and I add my neutrons. Okay, so I have 100 for my atomic number. I have 159 for my neutrons. 100 plus 159 is 259 for my atomic mass. And that'll give me that. Okay, and then I can look back at my sheet here. I look at for element 100, which element 100 is right here, and that's going to be FM for my symbol. Okay. Next, I have element NO. Okay, so I'll have to find NO on my periodic table. Okay, and you'll notice NO is right there, nobelium. So I'm going to write my atomic number down, which is the top number, 102. Then I'll do my protons and my electrons, because those are always equal to my atomic number. Those are real easy to find. Okay. Then I'm going to do my neutrons. And if you remember, we said neutrons was our mass minus our atomic number. So I look at my atomic mass, which is 261, and then I subtract 102. So that's going to be 159. 261 minus 102 159. Okay, so let's go ahead and do one more just to make sure we're understanding that all right. Okay, so I have YD as my symbol, so I'll find that on my periodic table, okay, which YB is right there, ytterbium. Okay, so that is element number 70 for the atomic number, so I will write 70 down. And that means I'm going to have 70 protons and 70 electrons. Okay, and then for my number of neutrons, once again, it's my mass number minus my atomic number. So I look at my mass number, which is 174. I look at my atomic number, which is 70. 174 minus 70 is 104. So that's just a review on how to find protons, neutrons, and electrons. Go through that as many times as possible to make sure you understand that so you can get the right numbers for each of those subatomic particles.